companionship is really paramount right now, where you're
Yeah.
settling down and you're trying to like set yourself up for family or stronger friendship, however you want to put it.
What I've learned about myself is one needs to understand who they are. We need to understand the purpose of why they're here.
Like I prioritize myself. Like I
Okay.
don't care what is important to you. I need to
Mm,
put myself first because the moment I'm busy pouring into your cup,
mm,
instead of making sure I'm fine, I
mm,
don't want to be in a position where I need to sacrifice myself first in order for me
mm,
to please another human being.
I don't want to burn a bridge over you,
mm.
but like I wouldn't pray and fast over our friendship.
And I think it's in the Black community primarily where you hear this thing of a man and a woman cannot be friends. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, true. A man and a woman can't be friends. I still believe that.
Welcome to Thought Provoking Conversations with Speak Your Truth Academy, where we explore ideas that shape our lives. Today, we are diving into a topic that everyone experiences, but rarely talks about in full: relationships. Not just the romantic kind, all kinds. Friendships, family ties, work connections, and even those little everyday interactions that shape who we are. How do we grow in relationships? How do we change? And how do they challenge us? What lessons do they teach us about empathy, trust, and communication? And how do they impact our happiness and sense of belonging, no matter where we are and where and what we do? Join us as we unpack the beautiful, messy, and essential world of relationships in all walks of life. Right, panelists, thank you for being here. Good to have you. I know Caesar is returning. He was part of the What Do You Bring to the Table discussion. Yaya's also returning. She was part of the Black Tax discussion. And then Zinhle is a newbie, if we can put it that way. So he's going to be engaging with us for the first time today. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. So today we are talking about relationships in all walks of life, right? So before we dive into the conversation, can you please introduce yourselves? Who are you? What do you do? Where are you? Just go all out. We want to get to know you first before we can start with the conversation. Yaya, do you want to start first because you're the lady here?
Thank you. Sure. My name is Yamkela Dlamini Tsepo. You can call me Yaya for short. I'm based in Joburg. Basically, grew up here. I was born in the Old Transkei, the Eastern Cape. Um, I'm a proud mom of two tortoises. Those are like that is my biggest relationship before my partner. Um, and I look forward to kind of like contributing to the conversation as well as learning from everybody's perspective. And for a living, I do HR legal. And yeah,
Thank you, Yaya. Nice to meet you again. And you never leave your tortoises, eh? I like that. Like you just say, hey, they must be featured in this thing.
I just want to say I'm featuring my baby.
Okay. Okay, Zintle, you can go next.
Okay, Zintle, as she's introduced me. What else can you know about me? I like to run as well. Genuinely, I'm a runner. I don't enter any marathons. I run for fun. I like sneakers as well. I am a big sneaker collector. I try to collect as many shoes as I can. Sometimes I do it on a weekly basis. So, when you guys are having meat, sometimes I'll have bread because I have shoes to buy on Friday. Even tomorrow, something is
Love it.
dropping. I'm probably going to be buying shoes. I like books.
Love
I
it.
collect
Love it.
books. I collect a lot of Legos. I don't know if you guys are into toys, but I collect a lot of like Legos. I'm very big on the cinema. I go as many times as I can. I like movies. I like talking about movies. I like analyzing movies. Base,
Amandla!
Basically, if there was one thing I'm sure outside of God that I love genuinely
Yeah.
are movies.
Movies.
And then I'm
Mm.
also a writer as well. I have been published
Nice.
here in SA as well as London. And then
Mm.
currently what I do for a living, I own my own, I would say, small business. I used to
Mhm.
sell shoes and clothes. And then by profession, I work as an auditor at a Big Four firm.
Hey, what a full life, hey? You
Yeah.
got me questioning what the heck am I doing with my life? I need
It's
to
like I
start
never did an
I
intro.
I
It's like I did
I used
zero.
to collect sneakers and then I stopped. And then I used to collect watches and I stopped.
Okay.
I need to go back. Zinhle is
You,
such an inspiration right now.
you
Yeah,
should.
I was about to say, Lishes.
Yeah. All right, Caesar, you can go next.
Yes, hi to everyone. Yaya and Zite and Hope. I'm CJ. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes,
can.
we can hear you.
Just like Zinte, I'm also a writer. I love writing, but I mostly write about relationships. What we're talking about today, but mostly marriages. And I'm a pastor who once upon a time went the other way around, and
Mhm.
I eventually managed to come back to my senses. I was in the gambling industry, a senior trader, but this is sports trading. I don't know if you know anything about sports trading, where we all generated odds for all these guys
Mhm.
who like gambling, sports, and stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
we started most of the companies here in South Africa based on that. And then right now I'm running my own business, accommodation and transportation for students, college and people who work.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
that's
what I'm doing.
Nice.
nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very big in financial freedom. You know, the
Yeah.
work environment, it's not really for me. But yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's not
yeah.
built for everyone, guys. Let's be honest.
Yeah. That's true.
Hmm.
That's true. So, guys, thank you so much. Sure. Honestly, it got me questioning my entire existence. The last time I questioned my entire existence was when Tyler Perry launched his studio, Tyler Perry Studios. I was just like, what are we doing on earth if this is what he's doing and he's going this far? That you guys have got me in that
Yeah.
position as well again, right? Okay, so we're talking about relationships in all walks of life today, right? So I think the first question, just to break the ice, right, is when you guys hear the word relationship, what comes to mind beyond romance? Because I know when it comes to relationships, all of us just go to, romantic partners, marriage, but beyond that, when you hear the term relationship, what comes to mind? Cynthia, do you want to start for us?
Yeah, I can start. So for me, when we say relationships, weird enough, the first item I would think about is actually friendship because I am
Okay.
very big on like friendship. So the first thing that comes to mind whenever there's relationships, I'll think, oh, friendships. And I
Mhm.
also think relationships is a matter of two people that have a connection despite
Mm,
having different walks of life. That's what I view as a relationship because I could be this person that I am. And then when I meet a homeless person outside here and I greet him or whatever, as much as
mm,
we may not know each other properly, there is some
mm,
sort of connection which may actually create a
mm.
relationship. So that's how I view it.
Yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, yeah.
Um, when somebody says relationship to me, I think I switch into the traditional sense,
Mm-hmm.
which is family.
Okay.
So how I grew up in the environment that I live in and I come from,
Mm-hmm.
relationship meant family, right? It took me
Mm-hmm.
a while to get to the extent of friendship or companionship.
Okay.
So the foundation and root of relationship to me is always really meant family. Like, how do you make friends out of family? How do you make
Okay.
friends into family? How do you have
Mm,
family into friendship
mm,
and is friendship? So when somebody
mm,
says relationship, family kicks up first. And then
mm,
obviously it's followed by the secondary, which is companionship and then friendship.
mm,
Um,
mm,
that order is not consistent. It
mm,
is sometimes one is always maybe ahead of the other. And in the age group which we are in, right, where we're
mhm.
settling down and we're young
Yeah.
adults,
Yeah.
senior young adults, um, companionship is really paramount right now, where you're
Yeah.
settling down and you're trying to like set yourself for family or stronger friendship, however you want to put it. And that's
Mm.
where I'm in, you know, like for a better word, that's my era right now. When somebody says relationship, I think companionship, but the foundation is family.
Foundation is family. Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. Okay, Caesar, what about you? When you think about relationships, or when you hear the word relationships beyond marriage and romance, what comes to mind?
When I think about the word relationship, I think about life. It's how we
Mm,
connect. I think
mm,
everyone just put on that. So it's for me, it's more like a condition of connection, and
mm,
it's do we because when we look at the word relationship, we need to understand that it's about relating interest.
mm,
Do we have a interest? Do we relate? Am I attracted to what you're attracted to? Communication, understanding. So for
mm,
me, the word means that without a relationship or without the word relationship, I think life
mm,
would be so low. You know,
mm,
people would see themselves like right now. Look, everyone is just having a relationship with their cell phones, social media.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it takes away the word relationship with the next person, interacting. You know, so it's to
Mm,
interact,
mm,
connect. I think we've said to connect on neutral
mm,
grounds, and
mm,
yeah, that's what it means to me when I think about the word relationship, life, and it's all that.
mm, mm. In general, yeah. So I always say that. So I'm a loner, right? But at the same time, I really love people, right? And I don't understand when a person wants to be alone for long periods of time. And the reason for that is, like when you are born into community, you are born into a family, and so becomes a little bit fishy when you're saying I want to be alone all the time. So
Mm,
and obviously the whole point of being born into a community and being born into a family is for them to teach you certain things about life that you wouldn't ordinarily know, right? So now the next question I want to ask is, what have you guys learned about yourselves just from all the relationships that you've had, whether at work, family, romantic relationships, and friendships. And yeah, friendships. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Like one of the most undermined relationships is friendships, and those are like the best ones, right? Yeah,
Yep.
but anyway, what have you guys learned about yourselves just generally when it comes to all the relationships that you've had? Anyone can go. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was hoping maybe to follow next. So when I when I think about friendship, right, and we
Mm,
looking at in a sense where how does it become important? Um,
mm,
I look at it at how it matches my values. Like, let's be
yeah,
honest, as people, we have our own
mm,
values. We've got our own belief system, and really what I
mm,
would call a morality campus.
mm,
So I normally match it to that. You can enjoy anybody's company. You know, you can enjoy a criminal's company. You
mm,
can, I mean, like that's how Jeff Dahmer and the likes went
mm,
about. People are
mm,
charismatic. But then value
mm,
system, do you share the same values, beliefs,
mm,
and sentiments? And so for
mm.
me, I put friendship on that and that
Mm,
it's relatable. I also
mm,
have found solitude in building relationship based on what we experience as human beings. Like
mm,
my friendship towards you would be the fact that we share a passion and we love
mm.
experiencing the passion of kindness and giving back and like
I
how do
like
we
that.
serve other people,
I
you
like
know.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's relatable and it really centers
Mm,
around my beliefs and values.
mm,
And it puts me, friendship for me is also very important. And I never understand people who go like, I don't like friends. I don't have any friends.
mm,
I never
mm,
really understand the bragging point behind that. Like, why are you so
mm,
happy that you don't have anybody you find comfort in, somebody you can
mm,
relate with, somebody
mm.
who you've got the effort of free will to be related to, because we're born into our families. But
Yeah.
friendships are something that we go and make an effort and put an effort.
Yeah.
Um, when I see Ulihle, I want to laugh with Ulihle and share some things,
Mm,
like, did you see
mm,
that? Did you, you know?
mm.
Whereas with family, you are given this with this friendship or relationship that you have to mold and work with.
Yeah.
It has been made to work. Whereas with friendship,
Mm.
you go and get friends.
Mm.
And so yeah, so for me, friends have become really great family. Like I said, for me,
Yeah.
relationship was centered around family, and I'm comfortable to say that a big portion, like 40% of my family, is made out of friendship, people that are not blood related.
Like that. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. Caesar?
I was about to talk and I realized my mic is off.
Okay. Let's
Um,
just.
yeah, when I think about what was the question again? Because I was listening
So,
to
like,
Yaya.
what have you learned about yourself from all the relationships that you've had?
Okay. It's a very, very, very great question that you're asking because relationships are all about teaching us uh, who we are, about
Mm.
discovering ourselves. Because with relationships, we discover whether we're treating other people right or we're treating them wrong. Because with
Mm.
relationships, what I've learned about myself is one needs to understand who they are. They need to
Mm.
understand the purpose of why they're here.
Yeah.
So for me, like Gaia said, I don't understand a person who doesn't have friends. You know, if you don't have a proper relationship with yourself, you
Yeah.
tend to attract, you tend to give out the energy that you carry inside. So
Mm.
it depends when we speak about relationship with friends, it depends where you are mentally with yourself. If you're
Mm.
in a bad space, you'll attract very bad people. And for you
Mm.
to unwind and fix yourself, you have to get rid of those people. And you go
Mm.
through a period where you don't have friends at all, up until you
Mm.
have a proper relationship with yourself. And I
Mm.
believe before you can spread your wings and make relationships with your partner, your spouse, at work, you
Mm.
need to me how to know what I want, have boundaries.
Mhm. Mm.
So that's why we need to have boundaries because I've seen a lot of us don't have boundaries when it comes to relationships, whether your parents, whether your
Yeah.
kids, whether your
Mm.
friends, where people can just step all over you without even you
Mm.
saying, hey, I don't hurt them. What about their feelings? But if you have a relationship with yourself, you know that I come first, not in a sense of being selfish, but for me to be able to perform properly, I need to be in the right state of mind.
Yeah.
So that's when I first
Mhm.
have a relationship with myself. Is this benefiting me, building me, or destroying me? So
Yeah.
relationship actually builds the person I am. And with people who don't really have relationships with themselves, they might come across and say, you are selfish, you are self-centered,
Mm.
not knowing it's very important to build that relationship with self. So that's what it
Mm.
taught me, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what I'm getting from you is relationships are basically a mirror, right? Because you can sit here with yourself and you think, "Ooh, I'm such a great person," up until you start relating with people and they give you feedback and they're just like, "You're not that great," you know? Yeah. Zinhle, what about you?
Let's start by that statement. You can think you are great just because other
Mm.
people don't believe it. It doesn't
Mm.
make it true. So for
Mm.
me, I'm gonna go the other route. Firstly, I think that some people don't have friends, right? Because of
Mm.
maybe the way they were brought up and maybe the way they don't have the same personalities, you understand? There's people that are super shy to the extent that they can't even make friends. I know
Mm.
this because in university, I went to class with this other guy, very, very shy, but he was like number one in class. When I say shy, didn't speak to anyone, didn't ask any questions. He just came to class, attended, left. Right. Even in the
Mm.
workspace, because I know people that work with him, he was the same
Mm.
way.
Mm.
No talking, no nothing. He does his work, speaks when he's spoken to, you understand? So sometimes it's a
Mm.
matter of personality where some people, yes, they maybe for them it's a bit hard to make friends because maybe they're
Mm.
introverted. And then
Mm.
for others, I feel like it's a bit easier because maybe they are
Mm.
extroverted. And then
Mm.
coming back to your question on what have we learned about ourselves? So I've
Yeah.
learned that I love Zinhle. I love myself a bit too much and I'm proud of it. That's what most
So
relationships have
we
taught me.
need to unpack that. Like, how did you love yourself a bit too much to a point where you needed to grow out of it?
So for me, I prioritize myself. Like, I
Okay.
don't care what is important to you. I need to
Mm,
put myself first because the moment I'm busy pouring into your cup,
mm,
instead of making sure I'm fine, I
mm,
don't want to be in a position where I need to sacrifice myself first in order for me
mm.
to please another human being. So that's
I
how
hear
I've
you.
learned. And then in terms
Mm,
of friendships, for me,
mm,
I've had the privilege of having all kinds of friends, even friends that you shouldn't have as a human being. I have had them. So that
what are
has taught me.
those?
I have all
What,
kinds of
Zinhle, what are
friends.
those?
You see how you see
Wait,
how you
wait.
guys can have, like, I have all kinds. I've had, like, I know people in jail, for instance. I know people that
Okay,
have done
Mm.
drugs, those kinds of things,
okay,
because of
okay,
I was trying to, like, understand how other human beings function. So when it came to
okay,
Mm.
friendships, I understood that I'm a very patient man, despite the
okay.
fact that obviously when you guys grow up,
Mm,
the dynamics of the friendship changes because maybe there's
mm,
different responsibilities, right?
mm,
Like when I was in high school, I still have the same high school friends I had. I still
mm,
have the same primary school friends I have. And I also still have the
mm,
university friends that I have. However,
mm,
the moment we became professionals and adults, the dynamics
mm.
started changing. Now
Yeah,
instead of maybe seeing each other every weekend, it's once every 2 months. And then as
yeah.
we grow into our careers now, maybe it's 4 or 5 times a year because we are busy. So
Mm,
for some of
mm,
my friends, for instance, I have a group of friends that we grew up together spiritually in university, right? They are a
mm,
bit older than me. One is married, one is like career focused. So
mm,
in order for me to make sure we kept a connection, I created a group chat and I told them that every year I'll take all of you out to dinner, to lunch, whatever, you name it,
mm,
and I'll pay
mm,
for it. And then
mm,
every September, no matter how busy they are, I even call their wives to say, today they're spending the day with me. So that I
yeah,
can find, I
Nice.
can check up on them to see, oh, are
yeah,
they okay? Are they what?
yeah,
And some of my friends, I go to like the CBD a lot sometimes. One of them
yeah,
lives there.
yeah.
Every time I go to CBD, I'll make the call with you. Are you available? Can I take you to lunch? So I've learned that
Mm,
in my social group, I'm more of
mm,
the guardian now because I'm the one that's
mm,
I'm like the glue trying to hold everyone together. And then even
mm,
from a relationship standpoint, I'm not a big
mm,
participant of that. That's for people
mm,
that are serious, I'm not a very
mm,
serious person. So even from romantic relationships, I've learned that I'm very, very patient. And then at some
mm,
point, I do get tired. And the moments that I'm
mm,
tired and have consulted with God, I do
mm,
cut those relationships. And then when it came
mm,
to, I would say, the family dynamics, I
mm,
feel like sometimes I am distant because of the
mm.
job that I have. And the family dynamics, as much as they may be nice, because you're always busy. Like, I haven't had Christmas with my family in like a few years now, because even
Mm,
on Christmas, I'm like, but like 2 days from now, I might have to go to
mm,
work. So I might have like spent it there. So I've learned these
mm,
different traits that, oh, I'm a guardian to certain people. I'm
mm,
a good friend here. Here, I'm distant a bit. So it's those kinds of things where you're
mm.
able to see where you actually are lacking based
Yeah,
on all these different relationships. Because
yeah.
even from a professional standpoint, most people
Mm,
I work with, they're like, oh, Zinhle
mm,
is good at his job, he's good with numbers, but he's not a
mm,
team player, right? You can
mm.
you can never invite me to anything at work. I will never show up because I never, like for past 3 years where I've worked, I've never showed up
Yeah,
for anything. Like
yeah.
year-end functions, they'd be like, where is Zinhle? He didn't accept the function
Mm.
because I don't drink, right? I don't smoke.
Right,
So
right.
whenever there's these parties or these communities at work, it's
Mm,
things that they're doing that I don't align with me, right? Because I don't drink. Why
mm,
should I be in a situation where I'm seeing people that are drinking? So for them,
mm.
they'll say, oh, Zinhle is a very good employee, but he's not a team player. But they don't
Okay.
understand that I'm in a
Mm,
situation where I'm not being catered for. So I've learned
gotcha.
those different like perspective of who Zinhle is
Mm,
as a friend, who Zinhle is as a son, who Zinhle is as a professional.
mm. And those are things you wouldn't have otherwise known if you weren't in the workplace, right? Or if you didn't have all those friends. You would have just thought like, oh, I love myself, I love going to the beach, I love writing, and that's it, right? And I think that's it goes back to the whole mirror thing that we were talking about, right? But as we relationship, ne? We go through conflict, ne? Go through conflict with our co-workers, partners, family members. Caesar, tell me, how do you handle conflict Is it different with friends? Is it different with family members? Like, is it all, do you handle conflict the same way and you're different in the way that you relate with everybody? Or is it the same way?
I don't handle conflict the same way, because, before I respond to anything,
Mm-hmm.
um, I first search it, like I said previously, is this going to destroy me or build me? So
Okay.
I've got this thing of, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, I've got this thing of shutting people off. I
Okay.
just need to shut everyone off, just to sit by myself and try and figure out what went wrong, you know,
Mm,
who caused
mm,
the problem. And because, look, noise is not going to fix anything,
mm,
so improving yourself, pointing fingers is not going to fix anything. So I
mm,
distance myself from everything. And I've got two ways, that I
mm,
sort my problems. It's either
mm,
I tolerate you or
mm,
I reject you. So
mm,
tolerating someone is something that is unpleasant, but I have to deal with you.
mm.
There's some family members you have to deal with them even when you don't like them. So you have to
True.
tolerate them.
Yeah.
So you don't have to connect with them on a deeper level. So such
Mm,
people, I fix the conflict or not, it doesn't matter to me. And
mm,
people
mm,
relate with, which I connect with on a deeper level, there I need to figure out what's wrong. And I'm not gonna let it go up until we fix it. You
right,
know?
right,
Yeah.
right.
And it's not a matter of me controlling the outcome, but a matter
Mm,
of be okay, because life is short. We can't be
mm,
angry at each other for too. I'm not a person who can get angry for a week, because there's people who get angry for a week and they don't talk to you. I'll talk to you
yeah.
up until you respond. If you don't want to talk to me, unfortunately, I'm a Taurus. I'm very fixed.
Mm,
And
mm,
I give people a period. If you
mm.
expire that, I write you off completely. Then
Mm.
you're on your
Wow.
own.
Okay.
You're on
Okay.
your own. I'll tolerate you. I'm not gonna have a
Mm,
relationship with you. I'll just tolerate you. That's how I deal with it.
sure. Yeah, it's tough in these streets, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell me. So with you, it's family first, right? And
Yes.
then you said it's your partner and then friendships, right? So how do you
Yes.
deal with conflicts in those dynamics?
Okay, so it's such a challenge, and I might say I'm not dealing with it effectively. I'm learning, and that's what I
Mm,
appreciate with conflict in family,
mm,
is that you're getting numerous opportunities to make right? Because family,
mm,
it takes time for family to leave. And
mm,
you then learn as much as you had to forgive is as much as you
mm,
need them to forgive you. So,
mm,
um, like Usizwe said, you have to assess where the
mm,
conflict is at, and each
mm,
environment you have to deal with it differently. Like with
mm,
family, you pour in a lot of love when
mm,
you're dealing with conflict, right? And you try to really echo that word love and togetherness. We united and we love each other,
mm,
family. We here
mm,
because we love each other, and you want the betterness out of that relationship for the
mm.
longest run.
Yeah.
When it comes to friendship, I think when it comes to conflict, you have to look at where you're coming from with this person. Hence, I said
Yeah.
that my friendship really is based on experiences. Then I can
Mm,
see how we are like closely related as friends. And
mm,
when you're facing conflict in a relationship, I always say it as a test, right?
mm,
Like, where are the boundaries of our friendship? Like, where is overstretched friendship and
mm,
surviving, and where is okay and comfortable friendship? I try
mm,
to keep all of my friendships at a comfortable zone. I
mm,
try not to be overly present and overly share to just
mm,
friends. I'd
mm,
like to keep that sharing for like close friends and stuff. But
mm,
what I do not do in limitation is support. Whether you're my best friend
mm,
or just a friend I made yesterday, support, I
mm,
equate everybody equally.
mm.
If you need me, because your day life is in the line, I will come assist you. I won't be
Right.
like, surely you've got close people to you. No, if I'm
Yeah.
called upon to help, I'll come help.
Mm,
right? But if
mm,
you and I were to maybe get into a bit of a conflict, I won't really pour as much love attention to it. I
mm,
would probably try handle it as polite as possible. So where I
mm,
minimize damage, I wouldn't want to burn a bridge over you,
mm.
but like I wouldn't pray and fast over our friendship, if you know what I mean. So
So let
no,
it
not
go.
you
We
and
keep it
I.
moving.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll keep it moving. And then when it comes to companionship, what
Yeah.
I learned with my partner is that if you do not explore the uncomfortable parts of your relationship, which is talking about childhood traumas,
Mm,
ex-girlfriends, or people that you held dear and you were disappointed by, their
mm,
family dynamics, you
mm,
are not you are not gonna go far together because those
mm.
things are the things that you actually end up living with in a marriage. You wake up
Ooh,
and you're not in love with the person, you're in love with the
mm.
person and their relationship dynamics. And every
Right,
day,
right.
even though you can see that, I think we're wrong here, you have to stand by
Yeah,
your partner and you have to take that
yeah.
L sign, you know? And I just want to say
Mm,
that what works here is that love is there. You're genuinely attracted to each other, and that's something you never should worry
mm,
about. But
mm,
respect, honor, and empowerment
mm,
are two big things that you have to pour into. Because if you maybe have a bit of like a mistake, they have to stand
mm.
by you and be like, listen, we messed up here, but to walk out of here
Yeah,
with pride and confidence,
yeah,
this is
yeah,
what we
yeah,
need, and you always have to be listening. So people always
yeah, yeah,
will always say that, oh, if you weren't made for me, I pray to God to remove you. Maybe you the problem, you need to do a bit
mm,
of self-introspection to say, okay, I'm not always going to be the one that's pouring to the other side and supporting.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
one day gonna be the one that's in need.
yeah.
And also when it
Mm,
comes to conflict at work, right? I
mm,
I don't know how everybody engages with people at work, but
mm,
I'm not that person that has friends like, oh my gosh, Lisa and I eat lunch together. I like going to work,
mm,
speaking to whomever I speak to. When I go home, up food at lunch and you there and you've got an open chair, I'll sit next to you
mm,
and talk. And then when it comes
mm,
to like team conflicts and dynamics,
mm,
I'm a person who doesn't know how to forgive easily. It's a work in progress.
mm,
So I always tend to hear gossip and I laugh. I
mm,
laugh at inappropriate times. And for some
mm,
reason, I enjoy it when somebody goes like, oh, Alicia did this to me, and they whispering by the printer. I like overhearing
mm,
and laughing, but you will never
mm,
find me maybe going to Ulihle, be like, Lihle, you hurt my feelings when you did this and this. Lihle, in that meeting,
mm,
I always tend to just shut off. And it's not a
mm.
great way to do. It's always like my job is a means to an end. So these relationship, I'm
Right.
really not going to invest in as long as we can get the
Absolutely.
job done. If I respect you and I'm polite to you and I'm willing to collaborate and we're saying this is a place of work, let's be
Mm,
professional, that I
mm,
do. I have no
mm,
business telling you about my tortoises when they are sick and whatever. You have no
mm,
business really knowing about my relationship with my partner and my tortoises and my
mm,
home. I never bring
mm.
that into work. And when I'm going
Right.
through something personal,
Mm,
nobody ever tells because I'm not always out there. So nobody
mm,
really ever tells when Yaya is like going through something personal or when Yaya is like
mm,
super happy. I've got this
mm,
consistent plateau type of a mood.
mm,
Like
mm,
I'm not saying I'm perfect and I never get into a bit of a conflict with a teammate. I do. But what I normally do is that what is the professional way of dealing with this? And I try not to personalize it. And I
mm.
always try to say, we're here to get a job done as best as possible. We're not here to
Right.
make friends. And my
Right.
solutions aren't always correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I spoke a lot.
Caesar, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
No, no, I was just agreeing with her. But I
Yeah.
want to ask Yaya something. She mentioned something about the partner and
Mm.
colleagues. With colleagues, it's about gossip. She loves listening to gossip, and she bottles things up. I just want to know, how does that work? Is she a person who carries gossip, and it's like the one who starts rumors,
Do I
and
publish? Am I the
if you're
publisher? No.
a
So when
publisher,
I say that, I like hearing people whispering about things. I don't like responding. I like laughing. So if you were to come to me, Caesar, and be like, Lihle almost became late to the meeting. She almost, messed up our little table talk here, right? I'd be like, really? Ha 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 ha. What happened? If you don't know what happened, I'm not gonna respond and be like, yeah, she almost messed up. I don't know what happened. So I always laugh and move along and be like, ha ha ha. Okay, but we got onto the session. That's what I mean. So I don't always entertain small talks. Hence, you won't find me in conflict with everybody. When I'm in a conflict with a teammate, it's always about a work or job, an action item. You won't hear that it's personal through the corridors. And it really helps to close your ears to the corridor talks. You can't prevent it from coming to you, but just know what to say and what not to say. I have no business to what caused Lihle to think that she had 90 minutes before the call. Therefore, I'm not going to be like, yeah, Ulihle almost screwed us over. I don't know, you know?
But uthanda indaba. Let's just stop
I,
there.
Akekho ongayithandi. Guys, we pay for television prescriptions because indaba. Khona manje, I'm like, after this call, I'm going to Mkwanazi, the living out of my subscriptions, because indaba.
While we're talking about work, ne? Sorry, Caesar, you were saying something?
We should do indaba yakhe. That's what we should call it today.
Yes, my child is. No, I don't mind. Undaba, my child is Undaba, Mageza.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have big ears, guys. So that tells you something. Yeah, my ears are big.
That's how you hear from the printer, ne?
I even have piercings to show. Yes, I've got piercings to show my biggest sense is ears.
Yeah. While we're talking about work relationships, right? Also, I've always found it very weird to connect with people from work, right? And I think I've made some friendships from work. And then after that, there's just a little friendship. I don't know if you guys also went through a point where, yes, you can make friendships. And then you get to a point where you're just like, I think I have enough friends. I'm good. No matter how amazing a person is and how great they are, you just like, the friendship, the friendship is full. We don't have space anymore, right? And I find myself having a difficult time navigating through relationships at work where people want to be personal, and you're just like, as in, I'm not there anymore, right? And also, there's this whole thing of being professional, right? So, like, you want to have that relationship, that professional relationship, and at the same time, you want to connect with a human being. Okay, so I just want to ask you guys, how does your work relationships impact your life and your happiness, your daily life, and your happiness, right? I know there are couples that they come back from work and they're gonna say, Yazin, Uzinhle today did A, B, and C, and I didn't like it. And then the next day when you come from work, your partner's gonna ask you, what did Zinhle do today? So indirectly, that's like a relationship that you have with Uzinhle, whether it's toxic or it's healthy, but because your partner now knows about Uzinhle and they're gonna ask you, what did Zinhle do today? It impacts your life one way or another. So how do work relationships impact your daily lives and happiness? Zinhle, I'm gonna start with you because you were just like, I'm not about this work thing, get my work done and go home. Just ain't doing that.
So for me, I work in auditing and
Right.
we work in teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been privileged enough to work, like in where I work, there's different, like obviously different divisions, right? Even within the
Right.
auditing space. But I work in the financial services space where it's asset management, private equity and whatnot, right? So I get planned on a client, but when I joined the firm I work for, I was privileged more than the other trainees because I wasn't planned on clients for like 8 months, 9 months. I'd be planned on a client 2 months, maybe I'm doing Standard Bank. 2 months, I'm doing Holland. 2 months, I'm doing maybe a client in Namibia. So that enabled me to meet a lot of different personalities and people, right? And when I met those people, some of them, we created a relationship, right? And we became close because of that. And then
Love
because
it.
of the fact that some of the audits we were doing at the time, they were difficult. There are people that we became friends because of the trauma, because of the sufferings that we were having at work, and it brought us
Yeah.
closer. And I'm sure
Mm,
if it wasn't for that suffering, we wouldn't have
mm,
been friends. And then there's
mm,
people that I'm
mm,
friends with
mm,
because like I'm friends with this other lady. She's like 31. We
mm,
became friends because of the love of like luxurious bags, for instance. I collect
mm,
luxurious bags. She collected luxurious bags. So one time there was a bag I was carrying, and she's like, "Oh, I like this bag. Can I buy it
mm,
from you?" I was like, "That's fine." And we became friends. Even
mm,
when she left the company, we are still friends even now.
mm,
And then I
mm,
also
mm,
like because of sharing the connections we have to things we love. I have a friend, a female. We're not
mm,
dating or anything, but because of our love
mm,
for movies, we travel to
mm,
cinemas from time to time. She'll call me, "Have you
mm.
tried this restaurant? Can we do it this weekend if you're free?"
Oh,
And
wow. Yeah.
then those kinds of things. And then I have friends
Mm,
that I hike with from work
mm,
because they are interested
mm,
in hiking. I'm interested in hiking. And then
mm,
I would say my main favorite out of that group, I have
mm,
a group of three girls. We've been going to worship night together
mm.
for over 3 years now. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only way these relationships work, it's because we shared a common item that enabled us
Mm,
to be able to say, okay, we have love for God. How can we
mm,
share the love for God from like to each other and to other
mm,
people? And there are people I
mm.
work with that they
Yeah.
think they
Yeah.
are my friends and they are not. And yes, it does happen. They are
It
not.
happens.
Yeah. And then I also have friends that have left the company, but we still kept
Mm,
connections. We still kept in contact because of like maybe there's a common thing that we shared interest in. And then
mm,
even now, like there's a few people I
mm.
can point out at work and be like, oh, that person is actually my friend, even outside of here.
Yeah.
Because even when it's
Yeah.
team drinks, people will be like, Zinka is in the team because even team drinks, I won't show up because
Mm,
why are you taking
mm,
me to a place where I am not going to be comfortable? So most of the times I do
mm,
get invited to these places, but because of the
mm,
fact that whatever that you guys are doing, it's not something I'm not in
mm,
agreement with, it creates that
mm.
discomfort in our relationships. Because
Yeah.
even at work,
Yeah.
I have two sets of cell phone numbers. I have my private number that has WhatsApp, and then I
Mm,
have a number where you can use to call. You are going
mm,
to be lucky if you ever get my WhatsApp because I'm like, what is
mm,
it that is so important that you need to see what I'm posting on my WhatsApp? Or but
mm,
I'm not doing it in a
mm,
bad way. It's just in a
mm.
manner of like right now we don't know each other
Creating
to that
boundaries.
extent. Yes, because
Yeah.
obviously at work we differ by gender, we differ by race, we differ by religion,
Mm,
right? So because we differ
mm,
based on all of these different things, we see things differently, right? If my manager doesn't want me
mm,
to go to church on a Sunday, but he's allowing
mm,
maybe my Muslim friend to go to the mosque on
mm,
a Friday, I'm gonna tell him,
mm.
"Ukuthi, you are not creating equality in the team because why is he
Right.
allowed and why am
Mm.
I not allowed?" So I've
Right.
learned
Right. Right.
to understand the different forms of relationships that I have
Yeah.
to say, oh,
Yeah.
you are a colleague,
Mm,
but I can still see you out of work. You are like you're a friend I met here at work, but we still go out to
mm,
dinners and whatnot, even outside of work. So
mm.
for me,
Right.
I would have to find an item that is common that can actually benefit
Mm,
both parties than to have an item that doesn't benefit both parties. And then now you start
mm,
doing things that you're uncomfortable with so that you can be considered a team player.
mm. Got you. Got you. Male, female friendships. Caesar, what's your take there? Zintle just mentioned that he has
A lot of female
female friends,
friends, a
a
lot.
lot of female friends,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's in the Black community primarily where you hear this thing of a man and a woman cannot be friends. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah, true. A man and a woman can't be friends. I still believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, I worked in an industry where I was a trader with a fund man, where we make money for the company. So um, you know that male and female, I don't see anything working in that relationship because in the first place, like okay, as Inka said, the interest was the bags. You know, we understand that,
Mm,
but with
mm,
male and female, there'll always be that factor of, you know, reconnecting or we relate because of the bad. And especially if you're single, let me just put it like the workplace, I see it as a survival mode for the single. You know, once you are married or your spouse, it becomes a cage. You know, where you use your time for someone else's dream. So the moment you become friends with someone at work, which is female, like Zinka said, you build a relationship on a deeper level. You know, you relate on a deeper level, and once you spend more time together, you know, it's I don't know, because I'm trying to put it on a mild, I'll try to explain it in a milder way, but I don't see it working, you know, female or male. I don't know how it can work. Maybe Zinke can explain, but I heard his explanation. But what happens when you guys hit hot water? Doesn't that affect the workspace? Because, you know, deep connections, when they are erupted or where they reach a point of decay, it affects the performance at work, you know? So that's I actually ngingajoli emsebenzini because look, work is a church. Imagine dating at church, ulokutshintsha partner. Dating at work, ulokutshintsha partner. Jealousy makes people nasty, you know, and you cannot run away from insecurities of jealousy and stuff, especially in the work or in a very close space where you see those people on a daily basis. So for me, I'm against it. I don't see how is that free for you in the first place, because money is the root of all. Once you attack my back, I attack you. You know, so some friendships they turn sour very quick. You know, especially when it comes to promotions where management sees you and it comes to, but I'm more educated than him. I put in the hours more. And one thing I want to say, but there was a boss that I used to work for. He said, do you understand when it comes to qualification, most people don't do jobs they qualified for? You know, reason being, qualification at workplace is not important. It's about the seriousness of can you do something and see to it and finish it? You know, that's what so he said. What we look at is people interaction or people skills. So imagine you are most qualified and there's this person who's got a degree, you've got a PhD, he's got people skills like him. He can just make small talk with everyone. You know, here you come, you're with that person, and he just gets promotion after promotion after promotion after promotion. Just imagine that and just think about that for a second. What would that do to you? What would that do to you? Ukuloya emsebenzini esohamba umamjiji manje ukuthi hayi no ngathi elinhlanhla. Kanti no, it's you. So yeah, I think just drop my mic and say I'm against it. I'm like that guy who just came to work go home.
Okay, good. But before I see Zinkler, you want to respond, right? But before you can respond, I want to hear Yaya's perspective from a female. Yaya, male-female friendships. What's your take, especially since for you, when you think of relationships, the first thing that comes to mind is family, right? And obviously family is made of male and female, and I suppose that would be, for you, it would be different, right? Where your male cousins are your friends and your female cousins are your friends. And so when you crossed over to just friendships that are outside of family, you would have been able to relate with everyone else pretty much the same way, or was it different? You just focused on
It was different.
female. Yeah.
Yeah, it was different, and it's basically what made it different was the architects of our family dynamics. You know, like our parents, that generation really put a segregation between male and female. Like you have that thin line, especially even when you go home now in December. You know, you've got the girls and you've got the boys. And that's how I approached everything, even during school, primary school. You had the
Right.
girls and the boys. High school, same thing. And even in social, public and social spaces, you can see you've got the male bathroom and the female bathroom. You've got this side and this the side. It's only now that really society is starting to integrate slowly but surely. But yes, I do look at my relationships with the different sexes differently.
Yeah.
How I behave around my guy cousins is very different from how I behave around my girl cousins. And really, how I was taught was that men are really the protectors of the home, the protectors of us. And they take that job quite seriously. They really do. So if they find out that you were dating somebody, they're gonna go check that oak out. You know what I mean? Whereas with your cousins and stuff, you're like, listen, I met this guy in Sizwe kanje na kanje na kanje, and you laugh about it. You're not gonna go tell your guy cousin that you met a boy. What? So when you look at friendships, when I look at male friendships and how I approach male, it's nothing that I'm super
Yeah.
proud of, but I don't mind it. I like it. Is automatically there's that tip of respect.
Okay.
I would never approach Uzinhle noSizwe how I approach you and Umpile. And it's something that we have, in our African DNA as African people, that umuntu
Yeah.
oyindoda, there's a bit of submission. Even if you don't know them, there's a bit of submission that we give automatically. And that's how I view relationships with male, is that first of all, you have to show respect. And in our generation, males have become a bit uncomfortable around us because they don't know if they're dealing with a woke lihle, or a normal lihle, who was raised with groundings. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have the perspective. You should, but some of our perspective as women now, especially around this tagline feminism, is quite disrespecting. And you might be like, oh no, we found our voice. Are we using it correctly? Because if I were to meet uSizwe today, I would immediately be like, how Sabona Sizwe, my name is Uyamkela Ikubeke, Whereas, first of all, as feminists, we come in, we demand the room. I'm equal to when I know Uzinhle noSizwe. So usually my questions cannot be dumb questions. I'm equally as capable and competent as those two gentlemen, and I don't like that approach towards male. And hence why I said male have also started to become uncomfortable around us. And just so to make sure that my relationships that I try build with the male counterpart is firstly psychologically safe. Uzinhle, you can hear that he's quite an introvert. It doesn't make him less of a person who contributes to society. Yes, he might be doing, hobbies that are very sentimental and close to heart, but doesn't mean that I should treat him any different, just because he's a male. My relationship with him should just be genuine, and as women, I feel like when we approach our friendships towards male, the first thing you say when somebody's being kind, when I got into the call, we were laughing and checking in and greeting each other and getting to hear what we each do. Nobody undermined anybody. Everybody was clapping for everyone. With us women, we always think that men are nice to us because they're interested in us. I don't think men walk out there, be like, I'm going to be nice to that girl because I want to get her. They've got bigger. There's no way Uzinhle is going to write, hike, read books, watch all these movies, be a Marvel fan, and then because no, I'm just genuinely being nice. I'm telling you what's in the Marvel cinema. I'm telling you what's in their box. This is what they're looking to do. He's got passion for it, and also men tend to draw away because they want to spend time with you. They want to go to cinemas with you. And actually, funny enough, when Uzinhle was over explaining his relationship with that lady, he had to say we are not romantically involved because as women, when we build relationship with men, there's romance. Like men always have to over cater to our friendships. No, I'm not doing anything to her. She's safe. We're just friends. I'm not interested in her. I'm not, and a man can come and propose friendship, Lihle. The first thing you're gonna say, I'm married. That's not what he's asking. There's a person behind you looking at somebody who could be interested in you. And I always worry when, I always worry when I look at certain friendships and we analyze other people's friendships. Let's be honest. You can see a one-sided relationship where
Yeah.
only one person is fitting into the friendship. And I'll never
Mm.
get it because I feel like I should serve in a friendship. And
Yeah.
men tend to overserve us, to a point whereby they have
True.
to
It's
explain, no, we're
very
actually
true.
just friends. But they always have to
Yeah.
be pouring in, pouring in, pouring in,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also feel like it's okay to love a guy genuinely. It is
Mm.
okay. It's okay for a guy to also love you genuinely without any expectations. And I also feel
Mm.
like when it comes to your male friends, we don't do good enough job in
Mm.
protecting our friendships with them in our other circles. We could be
Mm.
together and you
Mm.
could be like, how was Osizwe? I'm like, oh no, he's fine. Oh no, but I think he's
Mm.
into you. He wants you. Instead of saying like, no, he's actually just a good friend. You could be like, yeah, but he knows what I've
Yeah.
got Kumelo and Nani. He's actually a problem.
Yes.
And so I feel
Mm.
like as women, there's a lot we can do towards our relationships towards men. Like,
Mm.
first of all, make
Mm.
it psychologically safe. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
paramount
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. Like you, also, I started relationships with family and friends, and my family has a whole lot of males, right?
Mm,
Compared to women, ne? And so, and at home, between my mom and my dad, it's just me and my sister, right? And my
mm.
dad did not bring us up as girls. He brought us up as
Tomboys.
human beings, right? That
Yeah,
okay, if things
nice.
need to be done, you need to do it. You mustn't look at who needs to do all those things.
Mm,
So when it came to family gatherings, I was literally everywhere. Right. With the boys are
mm.
playing soccer, I'm there because everyone is playing. It's not really about soccer. For me, it's about we are
Yeah.
playing. It just happens to be soccer, right? When
Mhm.
the girls
Mm.
are playing house, I'm there. We are playing. It just happens
Playing
to be
house.
house. But I saw the difference between the cousins that had brothers and sisters, where it was literally a
Mm,
segregation with them, where the brother will say, I'm not gonna play with dolls, and the sister will say, I'm
mm.
not gonna play soccer with you, right? Whereas for me, it was just like, but we're playing. We're playing. What's
Yeah,
the issue here, right? And then it
true.
also transcended to just my relationships in general, where I have male
Mm,
friends and I have female friends, right? So
mm.
with my male friends, I just we're friends. Like if you're telling me that he's interested in me, I'm just like, please, man. There's no way. He's
Yeah.
my friend. I don't think of it in that way. But Zintle, I'd
Mm,
like for you now to just give us a breakdown from a male's perspective, right? That how does the
mm.
friendship work? Because I think with us females, we do get the chance to actually explain ourselves, right? But with y'all,
Yeah,
you're like never given a chance to explain, and you have to
True.
always over explain yourself and say, no, but we are not romantically involved. Whereas I can just simply
Yeah.
say, Caesar is my friend, Zinto is my friend, we move.
Yeah.
But with you
Yeah.
as a man, you kind of have to over explain yourself.
it's because of the very thing you just said that, like, most
Yeah.
times it happens that the kindness is mistaken
Mm,
for romantic feelings, right? But the
yeah.
first thing we
Yeah.
need to always remember is if you're a good person, you're a good person, and the reward of you being
Mm,
a good person is more goodness in the world, and that's it. There's no
mm,
reward for money, for whatnot, right? So for
mm,
me,
mm,
I've learned a lot of things, number one, from women. Yes, yes, males teach me a lot of things too, but I've learned
mm,
certain things from women, like from love to it,
mm,
because of the soft relationships we have,
mm,
right? For
mm,
me, it was easier because I was like, it wasn't even a matter of being clear what. I would be like, oh, I like this. And they're like, oh, Zinke, do you want to join or something? And then I would join. And then it would end
mm,
up being a continuous thing, right? I'll
mm,
make you an
mm,
example. I am friends with this other lady, Unumbuso. We are in the
mm.
same industry, right? We've been friends from when I was doing first year in university, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the time we were in that year, everyone would be like, yeah, they're dating. There's like, Numbuso had a
Mm,
partner. I had a partner as well. Our partners knew
mm,
each other. We would still hang
mm.
out with them. We'd go out to dinners together, right?
Right. Right.
And then we became adults. We're still good friends, right? And then
Mm,
she gave, for instance, she has a daughter, right? The
mm,
kid is my goddaughter. When that
mm,
daughter was born, the dad wasn't present. I was at the
mm,
hospital because I was like, let
mm,
me step in and help my friend.
mm,
Even the
Mm,
nurses thought I was the dad. And I had to explain,
mm,
no, I'm just stepping in because this and this has
mm,
happened.
mm,
Every
mm,
milestone my goddaughter has had, I've always been there
Okay.
because I was like, this is the friendship I created. I need to be there. So
Love
even if
it.
I meet my
Yes.
wife and
Yes.
I get married, I'll explain to her, who's,
Mm,
oh, I have a goddaughter, and she's like, maybe she's going to be 10 years old by then or whatnot. She's
mm,
very
mm,
important in my life because of the
mm,
relationship that I have with my friend.
mm,
But if I
mm,
listened to people saying, oh, they're dating, they're this, they're that, it maybe our
mm,
friendship would have ended. So it's a matter of
mm,
Yeah.
intention. Like you need to be honest with
mm.
yourself, right? Because for a
Right,
lot of
right.
people, it's the same thing that we usually say that people are usually mean to, like, for
Mm,
instance, especially men, they're usually mean to
mm,
girls that they don't like, right? They're not nice.
mm,
But to females
mm,
or women that they like, they become genuine and whatnot. So for me, I learned
Mm.
early that you need to be kind to everyone, whether you find them attractive or not. So most of
yes.
the friendships I have with women, they're intentional. Like, for instance, the
Mm,
lady I used to trade bags with, she
mm,
opened a consulting firm and she needed my help. And
mm,
we, like, obviously, we don't work together anymore. She owns her own thing. She called me. She's like, oh, I have a task
mm,
for you. And she paid
mm,
me a lot of
Oh,
money for
that's
that task,
nice.
you understand?
mm,
And for me to
mm,
have that relationship or friendship where there's
mm,
money involved, where we're able to break bread together, it was very
mm,
important. It was an important
mm,
milestone for our friendship. So you
mm,
learn the different dynamics through like intention, right? For instance, my
mm,
friend, the one that I go to movies with, right? Oh, I know she
mm,
doesn't have a partner. She knows I don't have a partner, but we are strictly
mm,
friends. But every once in a while,
mm,
I know she'll need help from a male perspective. And then I'm able to
mm,
step in. Like I know
mm,
she uses Uber, for instance. Maybe she's on
mm,
overtime. And she'll
mm,
send me to say, oh, Zinhle, I'm only leaving the office now and it's like 12 a.m. So I'll call her just
mm,
to make sure at least she's safe because she doesn't have
mm,
like a family here in Joburg. Her family is a bit further in Pretoria. So these
mm,
friendships all serve a certain purpose or intention to
mm,
ensure that not only are these people okay, I am also
mm,
okay because I know there's certain
mm,
restaurants maybe I hadn't tried,
mm,
but now I'm
mm.
able to try it because, oh, this lady said, oh, Zinhle, can we try this, right? So that's
Right,
how I've
right.
tackled my friendships. Even
Mm,
now, I'll make you an example. Every few weeks, me and my friends, we have a beggar tournament, right? So unlike you
mm,
guys, I have a lot of friends for some weird reason. But in our
mm,
social group where I created this beggar tournament, we have both
mm,
males and females. So there's one lady,
mm,
she comes with her boyfriend. We are friends with the
mm,
girl. We are friends with the boy
mm,
as well. Then there's another lady, I think she's 65. She comes with us to
mm,
the beggar tournament. So we've
mm,
created this social group that has the right intentions. I won't wake up one day and be like, I have feelings for the people that I said these were my intentions. So I think the
yeah.
reason why a lot of, I would say, maybe Caesar, obviously he's correct in his own view. The reason why he would view it this way is because,
Mm.
or when males sometimes get rejected,
Okay, is it me or
It's
Thanks.
frozen.
it's frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Caesar, are we changing your mind a little bit or you just still don't see it working?
Oh, are
What's
you frozen? Can you hear me? I think you're frozen. Are we back?
we can hear you. No, we can hear it's Zinkla's the one that's frozen, hey? So I'm saying just based on what we've said, are we changing your mind a little bit or you just still don't see male friendships
Oh,
and female friendships working?
no, the thing, the danger is not in what you do, it's in what the other person, how the other person takes it. Because I
Yeah.
think we've seen many cases where people can be best friends
oh,
and
sorry,
you start
everyone. My sorry, my network, my like I thought I had load shedding. My electricity went out, but it's back. So
Okay.
I was saying that as
Okay.
Caesar was saying that like
Mm,
for obviously like men sometimes can't be friends with women. The view that I've
mm,
always seen was because
mm.
some of these men maybe they approached that female and then they got shot down and they were like the least I can do is take the friendship. So for them, the intention becomes
Uh,
impure because
okay,
that was
okay,
not the
okay.
original intention. So that's why for a lot of people,
Uh,
very they say that thing because I have one of my friends, same age as me, he's married, and I remember he had a female friend at
mm,
work. They were very close. They did everything together. And then when he got engaged, he was like, "Oh, actually, I'm engaged. I don't want to be friends with you anymore." And the girl was
Mm,
stunned because like we were just friends, but he was like
mm,
to for him this he has the same principles as he was like I can't be
mm,
females, I can't have female
mm,
friends. Only
mm,
my wife can be my friend, right?
mm, mm,
So it goes on a couple of factors, how you were brought
mm,
up, how like you view
mm,
these friendships and whatnot. Because I would like, yes, I would like
mm,
to be married to my
mm,
wife and whatnot. I would still want to have some of my
mm,
female friends because I know that sometimes maybe there's something that like relates to females that they can
mm,
help me with my kid, that they can help me with
mm,
my wife. Maybe I want to
mm,
surprise with my wife with something.
mm,
Maybe they are the ones that are more knowledgeable about a certain subject matter. So for
mm,
me, those like I said, those female friendships have cultivated my life as well because I approach love differently now because I'm like with my female friends, oh, I was a gentleman, I'm gentle. With my male friends, I'm
mm.
gentle as well. So I
Yeah.
feel like we as men, as much as maybe other
Mm,
people may not agree, we do need
mm,
to have friendships for of both genders because they teach us
mm.
different things. Women are more
Different things.
delicate and kind,
Mm,
so maybe you
mm,
learn a few things there. Because like I told you, every like for instance, next week it's gonna be the first Friday of the thingy of the year of the month. I'm
mm,
probably gonna go to church with these very females that I go to. And I feel fulfilled
mm,
because I'm like, this is the friendship we have created. I won't
mm,
wake up one day and start having a crush on any of my friends because in my view, I view them
mm,
as my sisters. I don't view them as,
mm.
oh, just my friends. So that has
I see.
enabled
I see.
me
Yeah.
to bypass the idea of like a romantic relationship and whatnot. So I get used
Mm,
to it. And for most of
mm,
them, I created an idea that the moment you guys get into like serious relationships, please tell me
mm,
and cut me off so that your boyfriends or your partners
mm,
they can be
mm,
comfortable. Because obvious, I
mm,
number one, I'm Zinhle. So if you like you hang out with Zinhle, they all gonna think he's gay or they're all gonna think he's a
mm,
girl or in. So I am
mm,
comfortable with losing my female
mm,
friends when they get
mm.
into serious relationships where now
Right.
they have to become wives or they have to become
Mm,
serious partners. I'm comfortable with that so that
mm,
there's no conflict that gets
mm.
involved when they start having serious relationships.
Mm. This is quite interesting. I've never thought about the fact that the reason why people say male and female can't be friends is because originally the intention was a romantic relationship, and then when you get rejected, you just like, okay, we'll just settle for friendship. But at the same time, you're still hoping for that. I've never
Mm.
thought about it in that way. Hey, I
Mm.
suppose I suppose the narrative has always been like we are from the get-go, right? Like
So
this person just wants a romantic relationship from the get-go.
so sometimes with love,
Mm,
you sometimes I would say I can even use the example of bread. Sometimes love is
mm,
like bread, and sometimes if you don't get fed the bread, you end up
mm,
settling for breadcrumbs. And I can
mm,
even make reference to the Bible. I think it's in
mm,
Corinthians. There's a
mm,
lady where Jesus tells her that she has a great faith. So this lady has
mm,
a son, and her son is
mm,
sick, and
mm,
she was of the descent of like I forgot the name, but those people
mm,
didn't get along with the Jews, right? And she
mm,
spoke to Jesus, like, I need you to help me,
mm,
like, heal my son.
mm,
And I don't know, it's like Jesus said something. And then
mm.
there's a line in the Bible where she says that, like, even dogs eat the crumbs of their masters,
Yeah,
meaning she was
yeah.
willing to, she was
Mm,
willing to settle for whatever. And Jesus ends up
mm,
telling her that, woman, you have great faith.
mm,
So I always like
mm,
look back to that to say some of the
mm,
guys, I wouldn't even say maybe it's a self-esteem issue or what. It's
mm,
sometimes you love that person to that extent. You're like, at least if I can settle to be a friend so that at least I
mm.
can keep that relationship, I can keep those crumbs.
Okay, okay. Sure. I've never really looked at it in that way. Hey, tell me, is there a moment that you guys can share where a stranger or an acquaintance really affected you? Like this person is not anyone significant in your life,
Mm.
probably met them once, and then they just affected you in one way or another. Sizwe, do you have a moment like that? Not sure if you can hear me.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah, can you
uh,
hear me? Okay.
can I go with that?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Um, I wanted to cover what Link is saying, but I'll answer what you asked me first. One
Okay.
thing we need to know about the heart and mind.
Mm.
Is it me or?
It's, I think
The
it's all
heart.
of us. I think,
Maybe he's frozen.
yeah,
Okay.
Can
Caesar, you're
the network
frozen there
is
a
an
little bit.
issue.
you hear me
Yeah,
now?
Yes.
We can hear you. Yeah.
yes.
So I'm saying, it's easy to fool the mind, it's easy to fool the heart because they all listen to instruction.
Mm.
So I wanted to, as Zinke said, so, I wanted to ask him a question about that, but to answer you on that with,
No, go, please, please answer. Please ask him the question, and then we can go to answering the next question. No stress.
because he mentioned something like, if you feel uncomfortable while you are engaged, I'm fine in losing that friendship. So
Mm.
meaning he understands the kind of relationship or friendship he has with those people is threatening to their partner, you know,
Mm.
in a sense of if he could say to if sorry, I'm cutting off here. If he could what's the word? If he could say so I just lost
No,
my
I do
train of
know
thought.
what you mean. I actually do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
can
lost
answer
it
you.
some.
I know what you mean.
Okay, you can answer me. Yeah, just
Yeah. So let me give you an example, right? Remember how you obviously gonna have to choose your partner at one not at one and whatnot, right? And
Mm.
when you've chosen your partner, this is the person you're going to marry, right? And the person you might marry, they might not be in agreement with all of your friends, right? So that means, Uguti, if they're not in agreement with all of your friends, there's certain friends you might have to lose if you want to keep that
Mm.
relationship, right?
Mm.
So I know when it comes, obviously, with female friends as well, that maybe there's going to be a guy who says, oh, I'm not sure about this Zintle guy. Like, you might have to cut him off. You understand? So it's a
Mm.
matter of some of the partners that get chosen by the friends that I have, right? For instance, I know Lulama's partner. She's a good friend of mine. He knows me. He's seen me. We've
Mm.
done video calls together. He's comfortable with me because he's even seen my chats with Lulama. She said, oh, actually, Zinhle is a good guy. He was helping you find a
Mm.
job and whatnot, right? Even with my friend Nombuso, the one that I have, like the one that is my goddaughter, the partner knows me because we went to university, we go together, we've had dinners, we've had all of those things, right?
Mm.
So for some of these guys, it's a bit easier because I'm able to also, even if it's not a big personal relationship, I'm still able to also have a relationship with them to say, oh, this
Right.
is me, this is Zinhle, this is why I'm here. So I know for some of my female friends, when they choose these guys, remember, Gucci, it's the same thing you're saying, Gucci, like boys and girls can't be friends. There's other men that
Mm.
believe in that same premise. So when they see Gucci, oh, this is
Mm.
Zinhle, and Mina, I'm not gonna lie to you, in real life, I dress nice every day. Like even when I'm running, even when I'm jogging, like I dress nice every day.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
some people, even for those smaller nyana things, you understand it like,
Mm.
why is he always like nice? I do if I'm doing a fade, I cut my hair every week.
Mm.
So that's how I am as a person.
Mm.
For some
Mm.
people, they'll be like, like maybe we are funa. Why is he always looking nice? Why is he always like this? And
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
how I
Yeah.
am. So for those reasons, I understand that I might have to be cut off because they're gonna be like, oh, this
Okay.
is Zinhle. And be like, he's also single. Like, but he's
Mm.
like this. So it's a matter of
Mm.
understanding the different dynamics or the different choices that your friends may make. Even with my male friends, it's the same thing. I have like friends that are married that I don't hang out with anymore because their wives are like, we need Zinhle to be married as well to come for games night. And those are Christian people. I'm not even like talking about
Mm.
people that go outside. I'm Christian as well,
Mm.
but they're like, we need
Mm.
Zinhle to have a partner so that when we do these games nights, everyone is with
Right.
their Christian partner. So it's a matter of
Mm.
like the choices that your friends are also making as to whether do they have an impact on you or not. Yes, I do love my female friends, but if now
Mm.
she meets her husband, she mustn't put me first. That's their husband. That's the person that they're gonna spend the rest of their
Mm.
lives with. So it's a
Mm.
matter of just
Mm.
learning that a bit earlier that despite having
one again.
Okay. Is it Zintle again? It's not me, right?
point in time, even though you don't
No,
want them to dissolve, they might well.
Okay. Network on everyone's side, hey?
Mhm. Even me.
yeah,
Even
network
okay
is
Mhm.
on your side as
tricky.
well.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
cool.
so
Uh
please,
yeah,
sorry,
go
sorry.
for it. Go for it.
It all sounds good and great. but there's an underlining there. I think you don't run away from the truth. You know how dangerous what you're doing is. You know exactly, and there are people who at times they even lose themselves or even lose their lives because of such friendship, and it has nothing to do with your intention. It has everything to do with what happens when the relationship goes wrong. When there's conflict, imagine your partner running to a male partner when you have conflict with them that no family member knows about it, but Zintle knows about it. And this is a marriage. Marriage is about two families coming together. Now, the third wheel is the friend coming in with his own ideas, not based on the family, I think, background or intentions on the marriage, because families come together and negotiate, and they've got one common ground or idea of how to run this marriage. Here comes Zintle. This guy, I think he's a narcissist. He's this. Don't you see the dangers of your friendship? I'm not trying to say you are wrong, but in a marriage, I think older people know that you can't be friends with someone who's not married while you are married, because there's this certain dynamic, or there's this certain thing that an unmarried person, dating and marriage is two different things. Here we are soulmates, soul ties. We are connected on deeper levels that friendship cannot understand, or it cannot even measure to. So a person like you coming in with your influence, Mr. Nice Guy, don't you see that somehow being poison to this union of these two families? I'm not saying it, but don't you see it as something dangerous? Because you mentioned breadcrumbs, and you know exactly when guys can't get the girl, they settle for friendship. 80% of guys do. And you mentioned that you are single. Already that's a red flag. That you're single, you've got a female friend. Why don't you have a partner of your own? Are you settling in all these uh, friendships? And you mentioned something like, I love fancy bags, I love movies, and that's what we connect with. People think maybe I'm gay and stuff. When you read between the line, when someone is listening to you, it could be, maybe I'm not interested in women. Maybe some guys, yes, it could be some guys think that's why they're okay with you. But when a manly man, when he sees his woman or someone, like I think Lisa mentioned it, that by nature men are protected, they overprotected. I wouldn't want my when she's hurt to run to you. I wouldn't want, I'd want to protect her and try and help her. But if I feel that you are taking my space, like you mentioned, a single mother, a friend of yours, then you became the father because the father is a deadbeat. Already you are presenting yourself as better than the father. So it's easy for the mother to fall for you, and it's unfair for you to say, I'm just for the friendship. When you were there, standing in the place of the dad. That's what I'm saying. The mind and the heart is easily manipulated. When you're doing ticking all the boxes and doing all the right things, the heart easily falls for you. So that's what I'm asking. I think you know the danger of your friendship. That's why you are even willing to walk away. You know the danger of the friendship. So if you can be honest with yourself, is what you're doing very safe.
So I'll start with the simple one. First thing you need to remember about the mind and the heart is the Bible tells us we shouldn't be controlled by our thoughts, right? That's the first thing God tells us. Second thing God tells us is we should never listen to our hearts because the heart is a deceitful thing, right? Those are two things you need to remember, firstly, right? And then, most importantly, the reason why I know myself as Uzile, right? I understand the kind of person I am. Simple thing, I am single because I'm praying for my wife, I'm waiting, and I am more career focused right now because I'm like, I want to climb the corporate ladder, I want to study further. So, and I work a hectic job to the extent that sometimes I spend months only coming to my apartment to shower, to change clothes and sleep. You understand? So if I'm in a relationship now where I'm knocking off at 2 a.m. for the next 7 months, how will I give someone's kid attention? Obviously, they will not feel the love. So for me, I help out where I can because as human beings, it is like our sole duty to make sure that we don't cause harm to people. So even when it comes to my goddaughter, I'm there because her father died before she was like maybe 2 months, 3 months when she was born, right? My friend does have a partner. The partner knows me because we were all in the same class. I'm even friends with the boyfriend. So it's easier for us to navigate those relationships, right? So for me, when it like I right now, I don't have female friends that are married, but I do have male friends that are married, right? When it comes to matters of the heart, I try to not involve myself too much because I know what you mean when you like influence and whatnot. So when it comes to relationships, yes, I will give advice that is fair, but I will tell you, Gucci, resolve things with your partner. I cannot be involved. The only time I was involved was when like one of my guy friends wanted to marry his partner and he needed an overview. And I provided that overview. They still happily married. They even have kids. So I try to help where I can. Like I said, on my opening statement that the reward of goodness is just more goodness in the world. So for me, I look at all these friendships as contributions to my existence while I'm also contributing to their existence. That's why I'm saying that relationships sometimes they progress and the story has to end somewhere. So if my girlfriend, for instance, they get married and they have to, I want to create a comfortable world for them where they cry to their husbands instead of crying to Uzi. The same thing I would also do as well. When I meet my wife, I'll cry to my wife instead of crying to my friends if I need help. So that's how I've always viewed relationships and friendships.
Okay.
Despite society saying males and females can't be friends. Like sometimes there's a kid. Yes, sorry.
Zintle, you were breaking there,
Or
but
should I
we were able
continue?
to make out. We
Hello.
were able to
I'm not
make
sure
out
if
what
my
you were saying.
network
Can you hear
works
us?
anymore.
We can hear you. Just your picture's frozen.
Oh, yes, I can hear you now. I think I was breaking up. Oh,
Yeah.
I am
No,
not
but
sure
you
what's
can finish
happening
your
with
thoughts.
my
You can finish your
network,
thought.
but I was just saying that I was just saying that I know what you mean, but like we can't create a society where men are only nice to their wives and their daughters, Gupela. They're not nice to people outside. I don't want to live in that kind of society. I want to live in a society where if we're saying we are protectors, even the kid next door we protect, even the grandmother there that's carrying heavy groceries, we are helping because that's how I was raised, Guti. Help as many people as you can. Doesn't matter if it's a homeless person, if you can help, you help. So most of these friendships that I have or that I've had, as much as I can play different roles, those people have also played different roles in my life, from business partners to friends to teaching me about like different restaurants and whatnot. As much as those things may seem insignificant, maybe when I meet my wife, now I know which restaurants to take her because I'm going to be like, one of my friends actually recommended this place.
Love
So
it.
that's how
Love
I've
it. Love
always
it.
viewed them.
So basically what you're saying that when it comes to male and female relationships, we must have strong boundaries because that's what I'm getting from all that you are saying right now. You've
We
got
should.
very, very strong boundaries and you make sure that you keep them, you don't compromise on them, and no one crosses those boundaries, right? Okay,
Yes.
back to you, Caesar. You're about to share a moment where a stranger or an acquaintance affected you as we wind
Uh,
down.
everyone done it. Yeah. Okay. I understand. Winter now. Okay. Yeah, I fully get you. Okay. Back to yeah. I was once in a serious relationship for about over 6 years,
Hmm?
and I met a friend, a lady friend, who became like a guy friend to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we just met through the pub.
Hmm.
We at the sports bar, just drinks, few drinks, and every time when you shared something, I felt a certain connection. And this person I didn't know much, and
Mm,
I started comparing this person with my partner, saying, if
mm,
my partner was more like this, I think we could have been much better, and this happened without me being aware that I'm comparing them. Then I started losing respect for her and started judging her that she is not a proper partner based on there are proper people out there who are actually understanding. Because with us, we're tolerating each other, small things just fight. And with this person, even if we're not in agreement, but we find a way to move forward. But now, relationships, there's 5 stages to a relationship. So we start in this certain stage where we can't trust each other. My partner can't submit to my leadership, where I say, babes, look, I think this is the best way. We earn the same amount of money. So money somehow makes people feel that you can't call the shot. We can both call it. So with where we are born to lead, it's very hard for a man to always follow his woman's lead. Yes, we do follow. Can't be on a I'm a passenger in this relationship. So how it affected me, this person did all the right things, my partner didn't. And for some reason, that was the reason why we ended up breaking up. Because I thought to myself, there are better people out there who I can actually relate with. This is then you start partner toxic based on a stranger. And it's unfair to judge your partner based on someone you hardly know. But we do that. We do that. So that's how it affected me. And I think that's why I understand Zinke what he's saying with boundaries. But there's certain things we control in life. What he's doing is great. We've got our ladies there being abused and they need someone to talk to. If there's a person like Zinke, it's okay because can't even talk to family. Because you find family members love your partner. And whatever you say, when you're Telela and you're man. Because let's be honest, there are some of our partners who are loving, but when it comes to telling the truth, they kind of get creative with the truth. They kind of then to sound like we're all wrong. No more as good you know wrong. I think this is I'm not to generalize, but I think women are very creative in telling the story how it unfolded. Somehow extra spices added. So, and it becomes very difficult to deal with such. That's why I say with myself that I hear him, but I'm still in between because I think the safer way. I'm still in between, but what he's saying is very good. I think we can build what he's saying as a support group. That's perfect. Permanent. I am your friend, and me and you, we go out together without anyone there besides the two of you. As a team, a group, that sounds a bit much better. And things, even though insecurities, feelings, man. He said, "Don't follow the heart." It's simple to say that, but hard to follow that. It's very simple. They never follow the heart. Sometimes feelings can be so strong that they feel for judgment to a point where you can't think straight. I think we all know this when it comes to intimacy in the bedroom. There's things your partner says, which you'll never say when he's so. Feelings are more intoxicated with idea. Some feelings, you say things like a drunk person because you're so filled with these feelings. So said than done. So than to rather prevent. So I believe in prevention than cure. Because what they say beautiful, but it's just a time ticking bomb in my eyes. It's beautiful, but time ticking bomb. Rather prevent that danger or that mess. Going through the problems of fixing. But when you didn't sleep, Guinea or such things. You put things together when things are heated. You're just talking, and you know how your partner loves touchy and how they love expressing their feelings, and you know how they are when they are drunk. And
Mm,
and you ask
mm,
yourself these questions with yo, uzinke. I trust him, but I don't trust my partner. Because
mm,
yeah, but it's not
mm,
mostly about, it's about we just had a fight and I don't trust the
mm,
judgment. She's
mm,
intoxicated. Yeah,
mm.
but
Yeah,
that's the same thing.
yeah. You're on the fence. You're on the fence. Okay. As we're winding down, yeah, here's the question for you, right? How do you
Okay.
think we can maintain healthy relationships no matter the type? How do we maintain healthy relationships?
Um, okay, for me, right, there's no correct way of doing it and not doing it.
Mm,
But how I always like look at friendship is how do I serve this friendship and how does it serve me? And you should really
yes.
work at the aim and purpose of that friendship. If I make an example, like I said earlier on, my friendship with you, Lihle, is based on passion,
Mm,
right?
mm,
I'm not gonna
mm,
ask you to go clubbing when I know that you
mm,
and I have a shared passion, you know, in
mm,
growing and developing our communities and giving back.
mm,
You know,
mm, mm,
you should really focus on what matters in the friendship, and it's really
mm,
important for you to do a deep analysis of what that
mm.
friendship is, what is meant
Love
by
it.
that friendship,
Yeah.
and so that you serve it correctly. Often
Mm,
people be like, oh no, I'm going to hang out with Ulihle. Ulihle is not this type of person, but you know, she understands me or I understand her, right?
mm.
Which is
Yeah.
true. Just because we're
Mm,
different doesn't mean that we can't be friends. It's just that if you serve the friendship what it needs and I serve the friendship what it needs, it will work. Sorry, my battery is threatening to die. Um,
mm,
and so, you know, with things like family friendships, like best friendships, like that you
mhm,
have in the family, maybe the cousins or your sister or siblings that you're close with, is you
mhm,
try to be very loving. Like I said, you over accelerate that
mm,
love. And then when it comes
mm,
to maybe external people, because you try not draw them in, you tend to give it more focus. Whereas with
mm.
family, you already have them on your side, right? You just maintaining.
Right.
With
Mm,
friendships externally, you have to attract, draw in,
mm,
and then maintain, right?
mm,
And like I said, I'm really gonna really make an emphasis in this. It's important to know what certain relationships serve for you so that you
mm.
serve them correctly and in return they serve you correctly.
Right. Right.
More often than not, people feel entitled to friendship and
Mm,
they get it wrong to say we both guys, we both work
mm,
in the same team, we have to be
mm,
friends. It's automatic. No,
mm,
you have to do acts of service towards your team member, you know, to say, I'm initiating a work relationship that, you know, has probably an opportunity for friendship, you know.
mm,
It's also that thing where, you know, when there's the boy and a girl, you know,
mm,
you most likely to say that they're gonna end up dating. That's where the relationship is going, not really friendship. So I try to remove all expectations and assumptions and stereotypes from relationships so that I can enjoy the authenticity out of it and I actually can grow. So
mm,
how I manage all forms of relationships is one, what is required from me in terms of service.
mhm,
Two, what do I require from the friendship in terms of service? And then three, how am I open-minded and flexible to changes? Nothing is uniformed, you know, nothing goes by script. What do I do when the script change? Do I want to save this relationship? Like, remember, I
mm,
said you should have a priority list, you know, like which
mm,
relationships are very close to you. Do I want to save this relationship? So what is the end goal out of this relationship now that we're facing conflict? You know,
mm,
when I have a challenge or conflict with my boss, the first thing is, I'm so sorry. I will do
mm,
better. How can I fix it? Please help me. Whereas when it's peer to peer level, it's normally like, you did this, you did that, I did this,
mm,
you know, I did that, you know.
mm,
I try to be solutions driven in
mm,
irrespective of which relationship it is, to say that I
mm,
don't want bad blood. You know, I'm very big on don't burn bridges and do
mm,
not draw walls or boundaries that can prevent or limit you in getting to know people. You know, someone
mm,
would be like, I don't enjoy homosexuals. I don't have a problem with them. I just won't make friends with them. You don't know, what types of friendships you're really limiting yourself from. Or another one is that, oh no, Ulihle is such a she's a rock star Christian. My bullies and like I cannot, like I can't be a friend with that person because my life is clubbing and going out and looking slay. Our lives are contradicting. You really are limiting yourself. You can just be very flexible and open-minded. And what I've actually learned with people with different personalities, people don't look for people who have the same personality as them. They look for people who understand the type of personality that they have. Like, yes, I'm bubbly, I'm outspoken around people, but truth of the matter is, Lisha, I'm such an introvert. Like, I walk around my house, I'm extroverted at home. Like at home, I'm loud, I'm everything, but put me in front of an audience and other people, I would draw a bit, and I would need friends who understand that to say, oh yeah, lana, but best believe when she's needed and she's called upon, she will show up, right? I also want to say that a lot of our friendships are based on how other people build their friendships. And I'll give an example. You tend to hear now, if you don't have friends from college, did you even go to college? Did you even enjoy college? We're different as people. God, like when I was in varsity, I just didn't care about friends. Like I really went in to have friends that we did the same module with, and if we sat in next to each other all the time, great. I'm not that type of person that looks back and then I have a childhood friend that I grew up with from kindergarten, then we went to high school, then I've got varsity friends. I don't have that type of a clan, but I enjoy and like the way I serve my relationships and the way they serve me. It has really worked out great. I'm not saying that it doesn't work out great for people who've got bigger friends groups and also have got legacy friendships from varsity school, you name it. It probably does work. But and the other important thing is if you're making friends to get to a certain point in life, I wouldn't advise that you invest in those friends, because when you reach that certain point in your life, you're gonna need to let them go. And this is where this toxic line comes from. When I no longer need you, let God remove you from my life. I want people who are good for me. You really do look at it and say, I'm the problem here, my friendship was not genuine to this person. I was using them to get to a certain point. Now I need to be honest with myself to say I've gotten to that certain point and therefore this person is no longer useful to me, but don't go trash down and put people down because you no longer need them and you think you're the better version of whatever the story is, or you're the hero of the story. Because something that people miss, God serves us all equally. And when I say equally, equates us differently. There's no way he's going to give us all the same thing because you don't all need the same things. And I also just want to say that you're a great person and a nice friend in your own right. Your type of friendship cannot be made for everybody. And I think people get it wrong. I want to be everybody's friend. You can't be everybody's friend, and everybody cannot be your friend, or have a certain relationship. Or perhaps I would really like to ask people to say, be honest on the type of friendship or relationship you have with this person or thing, organization, institution. Whenever I panic when I get into trouble or when I don't see things going right. Like I'm a minimal perfectionist, right? But I am good at receiving feedback because most of my friends will tell me like, be honest, we are better. It's not nice hearing it, but then you click on and say, actually, these people care for me. They would rather have me look good. Nah? You would then want to invest into that. You then start feeling safe and trusting to what you're hearing from this person. But sometimes we tend to think, oh no, they're going against me. If you're not with me, you're against me. What is this perfect notion that they always use? My ride or die. No, I'm not going to ride with you and die with you. I've got my own death date set. Thank you very much. Let's not have stupid friendship, guys. Seriously, have stupid ride or die. No, I'm not going to go do something stupid with you, in the life of ride or die, right? And I also think my biggest emphasis also goes to Do you need so many relationships? Do you need a relationship for each and every corner? No. Um, I'm a big person of building meaningful relationship, and capacity is really a big thing. Can you handle a lot of friends? What type of person are you? Because you don't want to commit to each and every person because you want to please people, and then now you're starting to disappoint people, or you want to be popular and famous. It doesn't get you far. It really, really doesn't get you far. You need to kind of like set standards where like, okay, I can fit here, I'm gonna grow here, I don't need so many friends. My small circle, it covers all corners. There's also that thing of no man is an island. You can't be sitting there like, I don't need friends. I'm actually not a person of friends. You're a very lonely individual and you need to self-introspect. Could you perhaps be the barrier, or could you perhaps be the problem, right? Even Jesus, sorry, I'm a Christian. I'm not very spiritual, but I'm a Christian. Even Christ needed friends. And when we look at Christ, guys, how I look at Christ and my religion as a Christian is that he was a perfect being. He was an angel, as a natural thing. If you're a person who's a king, you're Christ, you're a Messiah, automatically you'd be popular and people would draw to you. But what did he do at the end of the day? He focused on 12 people that he nurtured his friendship with. Was he open to serving and helping everybody? Yes. He never left anybody in need. But there was a friendship that he nurtured, that he got into a boat, went fishing, did compensatory work to have money to be able to contribute in that commune he was living in with his 12 disciples. He nurtured that relationship, but he was open to everybody. So no man is an island. You can't survive on your own, right? Even Christ himself, needed friendship, intimate friendships. And a person who's like God, Jehovah, if he can find friendships in the likes of David, and Abraham, calling people men of honor, like Job, you're a man of honor and kind and loving, you're a true friend. He's the most high, guys. He values friendship, he nurtures friendship. He's open to everybody and loving to everyone, but there's a circle that he nurtures. And I think that's very important. Like I'm gonna say my points again, be intentional for what the relationship is serving you, how you gonna serve it, and also capacity is important, and where you would like this friendship to take you. And yeah, and when you make friends, Lihle, if I can ask people to say that friendship is not built on the same day. And also seeing each other and doing the same thing. Maybe let's say Zintle and I do auditing and we like data. All we ever do is pull data and tell stories, right? Doesn't make us friends. We could just like the same thing, but that doesn't have to make us friends. So don't be hurt by friendships that didn't really turn into fruitified friendships. They could just be the fact that you were just to be acquaintances.
All
Sorry,
right. Thank you so much, Aya. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Sizwe and Zintle, I'm going to ask you guys if you were to give your younger selves relationship advice, what would it be? 30 seconds and then we close.
So for me would be just continue extending grace for everyone, because all of us, it's our first time here on earth. So, we don't have to have everything figured out immediately. So that would be that for me.
All right. Thank you for that, Caesar.
For me, we are all created different, and that's what makes life beautiful. We don't all have to be the same color. So my young self is, you don't have to be in a crowd which represents you and your life. Yes, friendship is of interest, but we learn so much people we differ with. So my young, give yourself time and stop boxing yourself, and just be more open and be friends with just anyone. I think that's why we were brought to earth, to explore everything. So the moment you box yourself that I am black, I can only be friends with a black person because I don't understand these Western ways, or I don't understand foreign people because we don't relate. I think that's a narrow mind. So my younger self is allow people to be and learn from them and don't try and control anyone, and just be happy and support. Like Yaya said, friendship is about service. If you're serving kindness, the color doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter if you're serving kindness. So my younger self, loosen up a little bit. That's the advice I could have
Yeah.
given my younger.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Thank you so much, guys. This is always the case, right? We start off very slow and then towards the end, it gets fired up and then we go over time, right? So apologies for going over time, but we just want to say thank you to our viewers. And those of you who are listening as well, thank you so much. Remember that this is all about, speaking your truth, holding space for thought-provoking conversations, and then giving light in the process, right? So thank you so much for listening. Thank you, panelists, for being here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.